Alright, let's leave it all on the course.
Hi, this is Douglas C. Perry, Editor-in-Chief of IGN Xbox and 360, and I've got a Need for Speed Carbon video review for you. EA's perennial racing game is a mixture of great presentation and arcade and a little bit of sim racing. Each year it comes out, EA adds new features, tweaks the racing just a little bit, and tries to do something interesting to give the game sort of a new, fresh appeal. In the last 3 years, they had the Underground series, and then they had Most Wanted, which was the launch title last year. And now they've come out with Need for Speed Carbon, which really focuses on drifting. And if you look at this game carefully, it's not like Most Wanted, it's more like Underground 2. So the new features in the game include drifting, there's a new crew, there are 3 classes of cars, there's a heavy emphasis on customization, including auto-sculpting. There's an interesting new structure where you win by taking over territories, and you've got an online game, which is more robust than it used to be. The way that the game works in career mode is that you're the new guy, there's this story, it sort of unravels where you did something, you had to leave town, you come back, you start from the beginning. There's no blacklist like in Most Wanted. What you need to do is win territories. It's a little bit like Saints Row. The more territories you win, eventually you'll end up winning that whole section, whole area. You'll have to face a boss, and then when you race against the boss, you win that territory. The kinds of races that are involved include circuits and sprints and police chases like before, and drifting. When you drift, they've created a new engine, and the new engine allows you to drift a lot more, to slide a lot more than normal. So you're really going to have to get used to this different approach. But once you kind of get it down, it's all about sliding your car into the yellow paint and really kind of creating combos out of these slides. And it's good. It's a little bit of an acquired taste. So with the crew, there are scouts, blockers, and drifters. You can hire one at a time and only one at a time, and they'll race with you, and they're usually way out ahead of you. With blockers, you can press the Y button, and that will set them up to block a bunch of guys behind you. Scouts find shortcuts in the areas, and drifters set up in front of you so that you can slingshot ahead of them. They add a lot of chatter to the game. They're really not that good. The scouts actually find areas that you would have been able to find on your own in the other games, and I could take or leave this. There are 3 classes of cars in the games. There are muscle cars, there are tuners, and exotics. The new real emphasis is muscle, and the variety of racing is excellent. Before, you really had tuners and exotics in this game, and now with the change and the addition of muscles, you have this sort of fantastic. Like, the muscle cars aren't bad, for instance. They have high acceleration and top speeds. They have terrible sort of handling, but you can make up for it. And when you switch from, for instance, a muscle car to an exotic or tuner, you really get a huge difference in feel. So this makes this game more interesting and better than Most Wanted in that way. The customization is really deep. There aren't as many sort of singular things you can do with your engines. They're more like packages. But you can auto-sculpt your car, which is a new feature that allows you to actually sort of animate different sections, like the spoilers or the hoods, in a way that no one else would be able to do. So that's really fun, and the customization will really allow you to make a very special-looking, distinct car. The graphics are really good in this game. There's a whole lot of flickering lights. There's a whole lot of nighttime there's just like a lot of neon, and this game is all about being in the urban areas, and everything just looks great. The textures are better. There's more sense of speed. It's a lot more sort of purposeful blurring when you're passing things by, and you really get a good sense of next-generation graphics. And of course, the sound is over the top. The sound is great. You'll get fantastic car sounds and engine revving. You get very distinct car sounds for all the different kind of vehicles in the game. The sound effects while you're driving, particularly the cops and sort of the ringing throughout the city of all these different cars racing, are all really well done and split into 5.1. And finally, the online. The online is a lot more robust than before. There's cop chases, there are various different kinds of games that you can get into, and the online functionality works pretty well. In the end, Need for Speed Carbon is a solid racing game with a lot of features you've come to expect from the perennial racer. For the full review, check out the text review on our site later today.